we made it to the top. Just kidding, top's up there. Some good snow, huh, doggies? Maybe 60, 70 feet deep is all. The ore cart rails basically went right through the middle of the cabin, which is kind of an interesting design. Hey everyone, welcome to the windy summit of Signal Peak. This is the northernmost kind of prominent peak in the Tushar Mountains, up here with my wife. Both doggies, first time getting up here good and high this summer. Awesome to be back up here in the Tushars. Going to bring you along for the adventure as we hit Gold Mountain and then here to Signal Peak, and then going to be dropping off and hitting part of the pipeline trail in Upper Fish Creek on the way back. Should be an epic adventure. Go back to the beginning and bring you along. There's a tiny little baby deer right there, hunkered down against the ground, hiding from us. Just thinks he's hiding. How cute. Hey, you happy to be up in the mountains? We're going to find some snow today. Got up high enough, we're going to catch the last remnants of the mild winter. Oh, it feels good up here. Starting out already at 10,200 feet. Pretty good elevation to be beginning at. First 10,000 foot plus elevation of the year. Alright, we're up in the little saddle at the end of the road. This is where the pipeline trail comes up to from this other side out of Fish Creek. That's where we'll climb back up to. Later in the hike we'll be coming up from down in here. But for now we're gonna cross country it, head right up this little ridge line and head up towards Gold Mountain. And then head across Gold out over Signal Peak that you can just see through the trees right there. And then drop off Signal Peak down to Pipeline Trail and then climb back up Pipeline. Did this hike 3 years ago, but didn't video it. And my wife wasn't here with me, it was just me and the dogs. Here we are back again to not only share it with my wife, but also share it with all of you who are watching his videos. Great big Fish Creek drainage down there. See Delano Peak way over there, the furthest one. All this is the top of Beaver Creek. And now we're pretty much going straight up. Let's get doggies. Lead the way, huh? Lead the way. You know, it's steep when it's hard even for you guys to walk up. There's Belknap right there. Second highest peak in the range. Oh, such gorgeous mountains. Love getting back up in here again. Yay, we made it to the top. Just kidding, top's up there. Still got a little ways to go. Few rockets around. Here you go, some good snow. I'm sure we'll find a lot more on the north side of the mountain. There's this on the south side. There's gonna be a lot more on the north side. Oh, there's a little goat trail across, huh? You guys find a whole bunch of snow, huh? Look at all that snow. That feel good? That feels wonderful for you guys to lay on, huh? Slide down the hill.
Steep.
Welcome to the old mountain. I'm not 100% sure if this right here is the highest spot or if that over there is the highest spot. Looks like they're about toss up. That over there is Copper Belt Peak. I had my bike on top of that last fall. That was a pretty wild ride. Make sure to check that one out. Got Belknap Peak right there. It's the second highest in the Tushars, and then behind it over there is Mount Baldy, which is the third highest in the Tushars. And over there is Delano, which is the highest one in the Tushars. Absolutely magnificent. Off out into the West Desert. It's a little smoky out there. That up there's wildfire smoke coming up from clear up by Eureka up to the north. There's Sevier Valley looking up towards Richfield. Absolutely magnificent in every way. Tell from this faint little double track that there are those who very illegally bring ATVs. They come up from down by the old Kimberly town site down here on the Kimberly Road, follow an old mining track that is not legally open to motorized travel, but they still follow it and come up that ridge up onto Signal Peak, and then they come over here. Lazy people, huh, Hooker? Won't get off their dang machines and actually hike. Don't give a rip whether it's legal or not. They just drive where they want to drive. Figure if their machine can go there, then they can go there. Not everyone who rides them, but it's a lot of people who ride them have that attitude. If my machine is capable of going somewhere, then I can go somewhere. There's Signal Peak out there where we're headed. Good snow, huh, doggies? In the saddle between Gold Mountain and Signal Peak. Work our way back up on the Signal. Lots of fresh air up here today. Very nice and cool. Borderline chilly, which was really nice. You know where you're going, old dog? Pretty much just heading up, huh, bud? Really not anywhere else to go other than just up. There's Gold Mountain where we come from over there. And there's Belknap and Baldy right there. And here's the summit of Signal Peak, the northernmost summit here on the Tushar Mountains. It's the northernmost, like, kind of big mountain summit. Like, there's some smaller little hills and stuff down there, but this is definitely the northernmost, the prominent mountain summit. There you have it. Yo, top of Signal Peak. So cool out here. Definitely a little shorter peak than the other ones back there, but this one's just cool because it's right here on the north end of the range, and to the east, north, and west, there's nothing taller than this. So good. Over here is Deer Creek. That's where the Silver King mine is. Right down over here is where the old ghost town of Kimberly is. And all this was the Kimberly mining district. The road from the Silver King mine drops around and goes down this canyon down to I-70, the old Kimberly Road. And over this way is the huge Fish Creek drainage. We're going to drop down onto this ridge, just right down here to this first part of trees, and then we're going to head off down and pick up the pipeline trail. Getting back in the trees, buddy. Hard to get back down towards the trees. We'll be back in full-on forest here in a minute. Eat that butterfly. Nice little chunk of snow, huh, doggies? There's the remains of the last person that tried to hike this way. I'm guessing that's the remains of an elk. Looks a little big to be a human spinal cord.
Yeah.
These still burn areas are a lot easier to go through on foot than they are with a bike. Yeah, at least you're not lugging your 55-pound e-bike through all those.
Thank goodness.
Been there, done that. Not in this exact spot, but we've done something like that quite a few times. Some aspen trees. At least a few. We'll get a lot more when we get down here a little further. We're going to drop down this ridge down to the pipeline trail. Follow a very rough old double track down this ridge. I think this old double track's here from when there was a great big fire up here years ago. An access route for them to help get guys up here. I would say has not seen ATVs or anything up here for a long time. There's Belknap and Baldy over there again. Just saw a small herd of elk off in the distance. Too far away to get a good video of them, and kind of only saw them just for a second, and they disappeared back into the trees. Always fun to see them. Been seeing lots of their fresh tracks and stuff. Cool to actually catch at least a short glimpse of them. Trail. Moving the pipeline trail. Here we are. Right here below pipeline trail, I've actually spotted a hole in the ground. Trust MinerBiker to find a old mine out here in the middle of nowhere and sniff it out. Hard to tell if it goes anywhere, but I happen to have a emergency headlamp with me. We're going to check it out. Yeah, it's brightest setting, see if we can see back in there. Decent little hole. Don't see any snakes or nothing right here, so it looks fairly solid. It's solid enough to go in and have a peek. Bye, doggies. Bye. Big ants. Hello? Anybody in here? Is this somebody's house? We're not going very far. Maybe 60, 70 feet deep is all. What you think, me? Should turn the light back on? There we go. Okay, let's go. Hey, buddy. You come and check it out? Bless you. Nice little hole. Probably 70 feet or so. Dead ends.
Tracks or anything?
Yeah, doesn't look like anybody used it except for a lot of bugs and a bunch of spiders and stuff in there. Love me a little hole. If anybody's gonna sniff out some old hole in the ground out in the middle of nowhere, it's me. And then also be crazy enough to go in it and check it out. All this we're standing on right here is a little waste rock pad. Almost completely buried, just a little bit of the opening still exposed, just enough I could fit in. And you can see up ahead to the pass we're going back up into right there. So that's Gold Mountain we were on top of earlier, and Belknap, and Baldy peeking up in the distance. A lot of chokecherry bushes kind of overgrowing the trail through here. Any water down there, doggies? Or is it dry this year? There's a little bit. I can hear it. There's at least a little water. You guys find the water? It's good doggies. That'll work, huh? That'll work nicely. You found a spot you can lay down in it, huh, buddy? Good job, Hooker. That feel good? Very refreshing. Well, when I was here 3 years ago, this trail looked like it had not been cleared in at least probably 5 to 10 years, and it still hasn't been cleared. It's still the same as it was then. Unfortunately, nobody, including the Forest Service, seems to care about this trail. It's too bad, 'cause it's a really pretty and cool trail. Nobody cares about it. At some point, it might need some enterprising fellow named MinerBiker to come and clear this trail off. If nobody else is going to do it, I might just have to come do it sometime. I'd love to try and to bike this trail down, but only if it got cleared. Otherwise, it'd be awful on a bike. There are so many trees. Just a few trees down. I really don't think this thing's been cleared in probably at least 10-ish years. Have this many trees down. And I was here 3 years ago and there was all these trees down. So it definitely hasn't been cleared in the last 3 to 5. I bet it's been longer than that. Kind of a mess of trees, huh, buddy? Kind of a mess. Good job, buddy. Somebody really needs to love this trail, huh, Bean? But it's just slowly disappearing. Come on, bud. You gotta hop. You gotta jump. There you go. Good boy. Be a lot of work just to clear this.
Yeah.
Oh, a tiny bit of water. Nice big pile of fairly fresh bear scat right there. That's pretty fresh. Nice happy black bears out here. Another big pile of bear scat right there. Trail's a regular little bear highway. It sure is pretty in here. You're a pretty good log hopper for an old dog hooker. Such a nice little creek, huh? That work, dogs. Cool you off. Give you a good drink. That'll do it. Snack break time. You're cooling your feet off. Your feet get nice and cool. That's a good girl. Hey, buddy. You need that water, huh? Third pile of bear scat on this trail. It's a little bit of a mess of a trail, but on the plus side, we don't have bikes. There's been times we've done trails almost as bad with bikes. Looking up right at the north face of Mount Belknap up there, big bowl, and then the canyon coming down from it. Little mountain here between Belknap and Gold Mountain. I've actually got my bike to the top of that one. Same ride I did Copperbelt Peak on. That was a good little venture, following some old miner routes. Got up on top of that thing. Pretty good spot to get with a bicycle. And we're gonna go over through here. There's a really cool mine site right down in here we're gonna check out. I found 3 years ago. And then we gotta climb up through all that nice forest back up to the saddle. But the nice thing is that here pretty soon we do get out of the burn area and actually get into nice old growth forest. Which is much prettier and nicer to hike in. Hey, what you doing on that tree? Huh? What you doing up there? Hop down. There you go, good girl. Oh, you're funny. You're pretty good at that. Oh, kind of like a cat. Good job, buddy. Did you make it through? The math through there, huh? Take an hour or so just to clear that 100 feet. I think last time I hadn't even noticed that you could see that mine waste dump. I got to about here and happened to glance down. It's like, oh my goodness, there's a roof. Realized there's a cabin down there. Yeah, old boy. You getting tired of hopping trees yet? Your legs getting wore out? What a nice creek, huh? Alright, should we climb down here to the mine? The easiest route we found last time was just kind of follow the creek down to it. Because the creek basically goes right through it. All this right here is waste rock, and that water coming off of there, it actually comes out of the old mine. The mine tunnel was closed, but there's water, it still comes out of it through the rock. And all this right here is waste rock. And all this water that comes out of the mine. Think, pal. What do you think? You like that? Nice dog pool, huh? Old set of ore car tracks right here. Came out of the mine and out onto this, out on the waste rock dump. One side of the track, other side of the track there. Obviously the trees weren't there back then. And here's a piece of, or the box off of an actual ore cart. It doesn't have the truck under it anymore, but definitely the box off of a cart. So when I was up here 3 years ago, I was here looking at the mine, and then looked down in here, and right down here in all this green grass, there's a couple of big bull elk that were just right there, less than 100 yards away, and they didn't even know me and the dogs were here. Sat and watched them for a little while. It was so cool. I'll throw in a little video clip I shot that time just on my phone. Throw in a little video clip of that right here, because that was super cool. We've got 2 bull elks. One right there just disappeared. Another one feeding right there. Big boys. Another one right there in the trees. He's watching us. Oh my goodness. Look at that big boy. There's the ore cart rails basically went right through the middle of the cabin, which is kind of an interesting design. The cabin kind of doubled as kissing a cabin, but also kind of a portal cover for the mine. And then the mine is right behind the cabin, all completely buried, but all this water seeps out of the buried mine tunnel back there. Right here is where the mine was. Obviously completely buried, but a lot of water coming out of it. Probably a fairly decent sized tunnel still back in there. Here's your cart truck right there. That's probably the truck that box out there sat on. Piece of an old stove and stuff in here too. Some old shelves and stuff over there. Oh, what a cool mine site. Alright, back on the trail and continuing on upward. Shed right here, I'm guessing is associated with the old mine. Kind of a little log storage shed, or perhaps could have been an outhouse. I presume this right here was another cabin. All this metal roofing and stuff. This cabin either got torn or burned down, it looks like. Perhaps this was more of living quarters or something. Kind of the footprint of another burnt down cabin here, and then remains of an old metal bed frame. What a mess, ain't ya? What a mess. It'd take you half a day or so just to clear this section with a chainsaw. Hi! Fancy seeing you up here. Little dog. I think that is now the 6th pile of bear scat we've seen. Various ages, but all right on the trail. Very active, happy bears. Might just be one bear at the pool, I don't know. Look, there's bear scat number 7. We're on a roll today with the bear poo. Now we just need to see the actual bear, huh, dogs? There's bear scat number 8. We're gonna get to 10. See if we can get 10 bear scats by the end of this hike. We're up to 8. We got the rest of the way up out of the top of the canyon here to go. The rate we're going, we'll probably get there because we've had 4 in the past like quarter of a mile. Here's bear scat number 9. Only need one more to get to 10. Never seen so many on one hike, huh? Oh, there's a nice breeze. That feels good. Fun to see all these little baby pine trees starting to grow in these burns. So many little trees. Climbing up through some deep old growth forest now. What this whole canyon would look like before it burned out. At least now up here out of the burn, the trees, the down trees are fairly intermittent. Now, definitely better going up here. It's a very steep climb. Hoofing it right up out of here. Love the combination of the huge old growth trees and all these fresh new ones. Just saw a whole bunch more elk. Didn't get any good video of them because they're in too much trees. A whole bunch of elk clear up in here, including a bunch of looked like this year's calves. They were kind of testing out their bugling a little bit. It sounded more like bird chirps, but they were kind of chirping to their mamas and stuff as they all vanished off into the tree. Just so cool. No way to get a very good video of them through the trees. Always a magical experience to get to share moments with such wonderful creatures, and then we all go our separate ways. Pretty decent little hike up out of there. I like it. And here we are. Here's our ridge that we went and hiked up several hours ago. Nicely done. Yeah, another completed loop. Now just hoof it down a little short road from the saddle back down to where we parked on the main road. Awesome day out here in the mountains. Love seeing the elk out. Fun. And we saw 9 piles of bear scat that we saw. Hoping that we'd see 10, but never did see a 10th. There may have been a 10th there somewhere that we missed, but still 9 on one couple mile stretch of trail. That's a lot of bear scat. Very happy, active bears. Pretty cool. Alrighty folks, we made it back to the truck. Epic 9 mile, 3,500 vertical foot hike. That was awesome to go up over the top of Gold Mountain and Signal Peak and then drop down and catch that upper, probably 2/3 of the pipeline trail. That poor trail is so pretty, and yet it's just buried under so many trees. It's just sad. But I don't know, might just have to come and get after it with the chainsaw. It'll be a lot of work. I very well might come and do it. If nothing else, I'll come and clear it just so that I have a clear path to going right down that trail at least one time, because I really want to. Especially that upper part will be a ball to go down. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to check out other videos. Check out my Copper Belt Peak ride from last year and Belknap Baldy hike from last year. First time going to the top of Baldy. That was awesome. And other stuff from here in the absolutely fantastic Tushar Mountains. Check out that stuff that's linked. Leave us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely make sure to leave a like for the awesome trail dogs. And yeah, thanks for watching. Keep digging up new places to ride, hike, or otherwise adventure and experience the great outdoors on your own 2 feet or on 2 wheels. Always the best.